I'll bet you a beer I can convince you Barbara Mandrell is the most talented country female of all time. Yep, Barbara Mandrell. If you're under 30 years old, you might have never even heard of her. If you're over 30, you can be forgiven for thinking she's dead. I mean, there was that horrific car accident after all. Barbara Mandrell. Put her up there with Hank, Willie, and Johnny on country music's Mount Rushmore. Come on, who's with me? I'm Billy Dukes, and thumbs up this video if you're a Babs believer, and then let me know who is country music's best ever in the comments section below, and set aside a couple of bucks to buy me that beer, because I'm about to bat flip on you. Admittedly, the Mount Rushmore comment was a little bit hyperbolic because Dolly Parton has done more for country music than Barbara did, but I said most talented. At least she was the most talented. Mandrell actually sold all of her musical instruments and went 10 years without singing or picking a note, and then another 15 years to get us to now, with only appearing a couple of times on stage for tribute performances. Like Bobby Gentry and Kaiser Soze, she just walked away.
And like that, he's gone.
Time travel with me to 1961. That's when the great Patsy Cline is rumored to have called 13-year-old Barbara a, quote, blonde doll who plays the steel guitar out of this world. Years later, she'd prove it on stages and TV shows like Johnny Cash's show. Can you even name another woman with a #1 hit who solos like that on any instrument? I can't. And Barbara could do it on just about any instrument. Banjo, accordion, dobro, bass. Here she is doing a sax solo at the CMA Awards. A sax solo! Until Dolly Parton pulls out a trombone, I'm Team Barbara. Of course, she sang like a bird and danced like her feet were on fire, and people loved her for it. And I mean loved her with a capital of. 40 million Americans watched her variety show on NBC for 2 years before she casually quit. By comparison, Reba, the TV show, pulled in about 4 million. It was around this time in the early 80s that she won the first of 2 CMA Entertainer of the Year awards. No man or woman had ever done that. And with that, I got 2 words: beer me. But this is a what the heck happened kind of video, so hang tight, because I'll explain and reveal why the crash didn't end her career, at least in the way you think it did. First, her songs, which still cook. Back then, record labels were a little afraid to release cheating songs where the woman did the cheating, but little Barbara wasn't. Some say her breakthrough hit, The Midnight Oil, was the first that found a woman doing the cheating. Dim the lights a little bit as I recite the dulcet tones of Little Barbara Mandrell, circa 1973. Tonight, I'll cheat again, and tomorrow I'll be sorry. And I'll feel kind of dirty, 'cause I'll have the midnight oil all over me. Oh yeah. The irony is, she's been married for over 50 years to a man she met when she was 14 years old, so she know not of what she sings. But when has that ever stopped anyone? More hits include I Was Country When Country Wasn't Cool, Sleeping Single in a Double Bed, and another cheating song called If Lovin' You Is Wrong, I Don't Want to Be Right. This time I'll let her break it down.
Loving you is wrong, I don't want to be right.
Mandrell was 35 years old in September 1984 when she was driving with her 2 kids back from a shopping trip. The family never wore seatbelts, but for some reason, she turned around and told everyone in the car to put it on. Minutes later, a car driven by a 19-year-old college student crossed the center line and crashed into her Jaguar head-on, leaving devastating injuries. One leg was pulverized, her concussion left her with memory loss, speech difficulties, and as she remembers it, a new personality for some time. I'm told I cussed like crazy, she told Ralph Emery years later. Her kids escaped with minor injuries, but the other driver was killed. It made national headlines, but so too did a lawsuit Mandrell was forced to file to collect money from the insurance company. It was state law, but all anyone saw was a 2-time Entertainer of the Year suing a mother and father who just lost their child, asking for $10.3 million. Quote, "She's not out to hurt me and mine," the young man's father Richard J. White said at the time. As I understand it in the suit as a defendant is sort of a legal technicality, but the damage was done to her image. Mandrell wasn't done, however, and this is where the story gets turned a little sideways. Post-crash, she won multiple all-genre female artist awards at shows like the People's Choice Awards and American Music Awards before she started to get some legacy awards. She'd have 10 more top 20 hits and drop 7, 8, 9 more albums. She was pushing 40, and historically, women at that age have lost a grip on the mainstream. It's not fair, but it's not rare. Something did happen as she recovered that led to her walking away in 1997, however. One cold winter night, after Barbara returned home from the hospital, she looked at her longtime lover, Ken. He looked at her. Okay, you know where this is headed. They made a baby. Nathan was born a year after the crash, meaning he was 12 when she quit. She wanted to be a mom, you guys, and went to great lengths to make sure a temptress named Music didn't win her back.
But
Did you sell the instruments so you wouldn't be
No temptation.
tempted?
No temptation. I have not picked one note since I quit.
Remember, Barbara Mandrell ain't no cheater. Aside from an appearance at the George Jones funeral and the 50th CMA Awards, she disappeared. Sure, you might see her interviewed once or twice, but if you want to enjoy her live again, you'll have to do it the old-fashioned way, illegally, on the internet. Yeah, we dropped a link to her full final concert in the description section. Kind of felt bad about making you buy beers. I'm Billy Dukes, and if you liked this episode of Secret History, or you just love Barbara Mandrell, give a thumbs up and use that thumb to subscribe and ring the notifications bell for more great country music history and breaking country music news. Here's a link to one of our favorite episodes.